Yashodanandana Braja Janarandana Yamunatira Vanachari Yamunatira Vanachari Shri Radha Madhava Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki Nitai Gaur Premanande. So, ich bin gefragt worden, Englisch zu sprechen. So, I will speak English. I was asked to speak English because of our international audience. Huh? Not yet. So. Gut, an der Übersetzung brauchen wir wahrscheinlich. Wer spricht kein Englisch? Lakshmivan Prabhu. Geht schon? Ja, du lernst, das ist gut. Und wer noch? Ah ja. So, wir brauchen einen Übersetzer. Einen guten Übersetzer. Der gute Übersetzer ist Kripa Sindhu. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavati Vasudevaya. So, we are waiting for the Bhagavatam. And actually this is attacking me kind of. It wants to, I don't know, eat me. Too close. I'm also frightened by this huge thing. Huh? Ja, wenn das nicht kommt. Okay. Yes, it's very important to discuss the Bhagavatam every morning. And it's very powerful actually. There are so many verses in the Bhagavatam itself which glorify the power of Krishna Katha, right? So it's a very actually easy way for advancement, for purification, to become Krishna conscious. And there's one verse in the Bhagavatam spoken by Narada Muni where he says, Etat dyatura chitanam matra Sparshet Shaya Muhu Bhava Sindhu Plavo Drishto Hari Charyanu Varnanam. So where he says, those living entities who are always worried, full of worries, whose consciousness is always full of worries and troubles. Atura Chitanam. The consciousness is always full of troubles and worries and so many problems we have in our mind, which are only in the mind. I heard a story. There was a dog and he went into a room which was full of mirrors. And he was a happy dog, so he saw all the other dogs. So he was wagging his tail and was very happy and became very happy. Oh, so many other nice dogs. And he left this room and he was very, very happy. Oh. And there was another dog who had a different mentality. He went into this room and he saw many other dogs and he became afraid and he put his tail between his legs and he barked a bit and all these other dogs were barking back at him and he was afraid and ran out. So this is the power of the mind. This is the power of the mind. And it's also said, Atmavan manyate jagat. As you think, so you perceive the world. Yeah, there's something to it, right? So Narada Muni says, those whose minds are always full of all these troubles, there's a very easy and powerful way how to get rid of all that. Yeah, and says there is a boat which can cross this ocean of material existence. This material world existence is very often compared to an ocean. There are many verses in Bhagavatam which say this, Bhava Sindhu, right? The Bhava Sindhu, the ocean of material existence. Also, sometimes it's said the ocean of ignorance, but the ocean example is there, and there's a boat. How to cross this ocean? Because without a boat you cannot cross the ocean. It doesn't matter how good you can swim. Sometimes there are like world records. Someone swims across the, I don't know, from France to England or something like this, the canal there, or swims through the, I don't know. But nobody can swim through the whole ocean from, I don't know, Spain to America. Nobody can do that. Yeah. And if you can do that, in the meantime, you will find some sharks. Actually, there's also a verse in the Bhagavatam which says that this ocean is full of sharks. It's not just wide, it's also full of sharks. So, anyway, no one can cross this ocean except in a boat. And this boat is Hari Charyanuvananam. It's the discussion of the activities of Krishna. Hari means Krishna, right? Charitas, his activities. When you discuss his activities, you hear about him and also speak about that. This is the boat which crosses the ocean of material existence, and also especially for those who are always in trouble. And we are always in trouble. Maybe you experienced today in the morning when you chanted Hare Krishna. That you can see, man, sometimes I'm shocked because I chant. Now, when I chant, when I sit here, and then sometimes I look at the devotees, not long, but just, and I think, what are they thinking now? And if they are messed up like me, you Hare Krishna, but they're shopping this and that, or make another video, I have to work this, or my child, or temple management, or the warrior, this devotee is on my case, and I think, man, they're all mental like me probably. I hope not. And then I say, okay, let's not be mental. Hare Krishna, let's fix the mind. Because I guess, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but like 90% of the time, it's not Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. There are a couple of nice moments in the chapter where, whoa, suddenly you have some nice experience, but often it's kind of mental. So this is this Atura Chittanam, as he calls this. The mind is full of worries. So, and the Bhagavatam discussion is so powerful that when we use it properly, there's extreme focus on Krishna through the Bhagavatam. And every one of us has different via medias towards this end goal to be thinking of Krishna. Some can do it easily on the altar, some through service, some through chanting, some through the Bhagavatam or reading or book distribution, things like this. But most of the devotees have some probably more, but some attachment to hearing Krishna Katha must be there, and reading. When I came in the beginning to the temple, I was not interested in the kirtan, bhajan. I could not relate to that. It was kind of boring for me, especially kirtan, singing, dancing. This was for me. I didn't like it. Not that I did not like it, but I was not attracted. And prasadam, we're coming from rich countries, what's the deal of eating, You go to the fridge, open the fridge, eat something, right? Go to the restaurant, what's the problem? Was also not my prime motivation, but I wanted to hear. And I came especially for the lecture to the Sunday feast. I want to hear what they had to say, and wanted to read. So many devotees have that. They want to hear the philosophy. So this is a very, very good way to become absorbed. Very good way to become absorbed, because this is what we have to reach, absorption. And through this, then for me it came the appreciation for the holy name, for bhajan, for kirtan, for prasadam. For me worked like that. Especially this prasadam thing, I couldn't understand. Why do they make such a deal out of food, Why? I said, when I was a student in Vienna, and I just visited the temple from time to time, just for fun, had nothing to do. Okay, let's go to the temple, see what they are doing. And ding, ding. And who are you? Just drop by. What's going on here? So, and once I was sitting in the office with the temple president, And he was talking with me, and we were sitting behind his desk. And then he kind of looked at me in a kind of mysterious way. Oh, what's going on? Speciality? Huh? Oh, okay. So, and then he mysteriously closed the door and said, oh, now comes some secret, you know. So he made it like secret. If a secret comes now, I thought, oh, it gives me now special divine knowledge. Because I had many questions. I asked him also about the moon. How is it the moon is further away from the earth than the sun and things like this? And so I thought, now comes some secret knowledge, how the universe is structured, how it really works. And he said, and looked at me, okay. And he opened this drawer of this desk. And I said, oh, now it's coming. And he took out a piece of cheese. And he looked at me, yes. And he halbiert, how to say, he took half of it and gave it to me. Can you tell this devotee that he can practice conscious somewhere else? Huh? Maybe not now, not here. Maybe he should come in. I don't know what's going on. So he gave me this half piece of cheese, like, oh, this is very wonderful and precious. Nobody should know the door was closed. I have my private cheese as the temple president. And I said, yeah, okay, thank you so much. Cheese, ki chai. Now I know. Now, actually, it is a secret. Now I'm initiated. I know, this is cheese, you know. It's prasadam, cheese also. Now devotees, they are very special with prasadam. But if there is no understanding of it, then we cannot appreciate it so much. So yeah, Bhagavatam. Now we read from the Srimad Bhagavatam, so we also chant the verse, we hear the translation, we hear the purport. Why is it doing it? Okay. What can you do, huh? Authority. He's higher. He can do whatever he likes. Okay. Good. Now we chant the verse, we read translation, we read the purport, and then I try to say something about this, and this should give us some good half hour of absorption. So but it works both ways. The speaker has the duty to properly present, that it's easier to listen, but you have to also listen. Yeah, so it's very... And this is also difficult. Or? No, what is difficult? Nothing difficult. Bhagavatam, it's pure nectar. I drink the nectar through my ears. What's difficult? What is he saying difficult? Such a neophyte. Maybe you experience sometimes, get a bit sleepy. Fell asleep sometimes in the Bhagavatam class. Depends also who's speaking. There are some professional devotees who have like this very monotonous voice to put you asleep in 5 minutes, they should do like this training for people who have sleep problems. They're like expert. Whatever they say, you're saying, oh, that's nice. Oh, it's great. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So the speaker has, of course, duty to present nicely, but also the audience should try to be focused. Okay, so we're reading from the 4th canto, entitled The Creation of the Fourth Order, as far as I remember. Yeah. And it's the 2nd chapter, Daksha curses Lord Shiva. Text, what is it, 16, yeah? Okay. Tasma unmadanataya. Tasma unmadanataya. Nashta shauchaya durite. Nashta shauchaya duride. Tata bata maya sadvi. Tata bata maya sadvi. Chodite parameshtina. Chodite parameshtina. Okay. Sadvi. Matajis. Tasmai, to him, Unmada Nataya, to the Lord of Ghosts, Nashta Shauchaya, being devoid of all cleanliness, Dur Ride, heart filled with nasty things, Tata, was given, Pata, alas, Maya, by me, Sadvi, Sati, Chodite, being requested, Parameshtina, by the Supreme Teacher, Brahma. Translation. On the request of Lord Brahma, I handed over my chaste daughter to him, although he is devoid of all cleanliness and his heart is filled with nasty things. Purport. It is the duty of parents to hand over their daughters to suitable persons, just befitting their family tradition in cleanliness, gentle behavior, wealth, social position, etc. Daksha was repentant that on the request of Brahma, who was his father, he had handed over his daughter to a person who, according to his calculation, was nasty. He was so angry that he did not acknowledge that the request was from his father. Instead, he referred to Brahma as Parameshti, the supreme teacher in the universe. Because of his temperament of gross anger, he was not even prepared to accept Brahma as his father. In other words, he accused even Brahma of being less intelligent because he had advised Daksha to hand over his beautiful daughter to such a nasty fellow. In anger, one forgets everything, and thus Daksha, in anger, not only accused the great Lord Shiva, but criticized his own father, Lord Brahma, for his not very astute advice that Daksha hand over his daughter to Lord Shiva. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukham Karoti Vachalam Bhangung Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamahang Vande Shri Gurundinataranam Shri Chaitanya Manobistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamayam Dadati Svavadantikam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shri Vasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. On the request of Lord Brahma, I handed over my chaste daughter to him, although he is devoid of all cleanliness, and his heart is filled with nasty things. Hare Krishna. Just a short notice on the chanting of Hare Krishna, because I spoke a bit on how our mind is always disturbed during chanting, and we should really work on hearing the holy name itself, and through the holy name, through the constant focus on the holy name, everything will get revealed. such amazing understanding. Everything will get revealed. Krishna will manifest himself out of the holy name. More and more consciousness, realization will come about Krishna through the holy name. Yeah. And every morning, every day, every morning, we should really try to work on that. And actually Prabhupada cites from Vedanta Sutra in the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is interesting. Most of the time when Prabhupada makes such quotes, it comes from Baladev Vidyabhushan, because he was the one who knew Vedanta Sutra very well, of course. And in the 3rd chapter of Vedanta Sutra, it says, Prakashascha karmani abhyasat. Like these sutras are very short. And it means exactly that. Prakasha means revelation. So revelation is happening through karma. But this karma does not mean material activity, it means spiritual activity. And then the acharyas explain it means especially or also meditation, like chanting the holy name. So through the spiritual activity, through chanting of the holy name, revelation will happen. A revelation, a spiritual revelation. And this is what we want. We don't want just say some words. We want to have a spiritual revelation, and it will come. Prabhupada said 1969 in Germany, in Hamburg, he was asked, how long does it take to become Krishna conscious? And then what did he say? There is no time you can put on it. Depends on your endeavor, of course. Can be now, can be never. But then he said, but you are all very young. So these devotees seemed to be young, who were in front of him. And he said, you have probably 50 years more. And then he said, 50 years is sufficient. If you chant 50 years, Hare Krishna, this is what he said, Hare Krishna, you guaranteed you become perfect. And he said that a couple of times, guaranteed, sure, 50 years, enough. You can listen to this part. It's enough. You become perfect. 50 years, more than sufficient. So this is all that is happening by chanting the holy name in a nice way. Yeah. So really we should work on this chanting. So now to the verse. Daksha is very angry. He has a personal issue with Shiva. For a father, I guess I only have a son. I don't have a daughter now, but I guess a daughter, you as a father, you're even more attached to some degree, or in a different way attached. And the father will take his daughter in a very precious way. I heard it's like this, that the father has a very special love for his daughter. Very special love, which is natural, which is good. Probably the same goes with a mother to the son. It's also said the mother has a special relationship to the son. So I don't know how it's with mothers. And I heard mothers and daughters is always also a little bit difficult. I don't know. So anyway, so Daksha had many daughters, and the favorite daughter was Sati. Actually, it said she was the favorite daughter. And please don't quote me, I heard that actually he wanted to marry Sati to Vishnu. But somehow or other, Brahma asked him to give her to Shiva. But he didn't like Shiva. But he did it. So here's the reference to Brahma, whom he does not call father, but supreme teacher, which is kind of respectful. I wouldn't guess that he is kind of offending Brahma in this shloka, as Prabhupada explains in the purport. Often the acharyas, they give the subtle meaning of that. And he says that because he called him only the supreme teacher and there was no reference to being his father, there's some grudge also against him. He actually, he said, I should give my most dear daughter to this, as Prabhupada calls him here, nasty fellow. Prabhupada says, yeah. Nasty fellow. Daksha had to hand over his beautiful daughter to such a nasty fellow. So this is how he viewed Shiva. And from a material point of view, yeah, quite shocking. Actually, I heard a story a couple of days ago. Once Shiva wanted to have darshan of Krishna when he was in Vrindavan and he was a baby. You know the story? You're laughing. Huh? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. Actually, my wife told me the story. She heard it from Indra Jamuna Swami. So I don't know all the details, but just that Shiva went to Vrindavan and wanted to see baby Krishna, and some gopi kind of received him, and she was shocked to see him. He looked very frightening, very emaciated, very, terrible looking, not in a beautiful form, in a quite fearsome form. And somehow or other, Mother Yashoda allowed it. And then Krishna saw him, and Krishna wanted to have his buffalo horn. Yeah, was it like this? A buffalo horn. He had a buffalo horn, and Shiva had to give the buffalo horn to baby Krishna. Okay, then here I have it. And since then, Krishna has a buffalo horn. And there were many details in the story, but just that Shiva looked kind of frightening, all body covered with snakes. This is already kind of terrible. Some people are really afraid of snakes. Someone of you is afraid of snakes? You're afraid of snakes? You're afraid of snakes? So, okay, you're afraid of snakes. So it's kind of... I had a friend once. We visited another friend in his house. And we're sitting on the couch, and suddenly comes out of another room with a snake, big snake. Yeah, he had a snake. And this friend of mine who was there, he was terribly frightened of snakes. He had to immediately leave this place. He had to run out. Couldn't stand it. It was a big snake. It was not short. You know. Some people have snakes at home, huh? Yeah, it's a kind of hobby. I don't have a problem with snakes. I have more problem with spiders. Maybe not anymore so much, but before. Terribly afraid of spiders. I don't know why. Where is it coming from? So anyway, imagine a person coming in with like many snakes. All the snakes on his body. Yeah, and so he is special. Shiva is special. But why? Because he is not interested in a material situation. He's not interested. He's way above that actually. He's not interested. But Daksha, who is one of the main demigods, who is responsible for the material world, he's a materialist by nature. Daksha means he's very qualified for material activity. And Prabhupada says, actually, Daksha, his Daksha-ness is especially related to his power of, how's it called? Fortpflanzung. Procreating. That he's very good in that. Mm-hmm. So he has many children, all that. So he had really an issue. Yeah, he had really an issue with Shiva. And here in these words it comes out, and he is calling him all kinds of bad names. So what is he calling him? Unmada Nataya, the Lord of Ghosts. He's the Lord of Ghosts. As we know, Shiva's associates are the Bhutas, the Ganas, and Pishachas. They always called like this. The different kinds of ghostly beings. In English, they are called hobgoblins. Hobgoblins, you think, hobgoblin, funny little creature, huh? A hobgoblin. They're very powerful, actually, very nasty, and they're very evil. In German, you say gnome. Huh? Gnome, you say to these persons. Yeah. Or kobold. Hobgoblin is kind of a kobold. And you might think also kobold from your, childhood, like fairy tales of these little, cute creatures, but they're actually dangerous. In Ireland, there's this legend of this leprechaun. I think they call it leprechaun. Leprechaun. Leprechaun? Maybe there, yeah. And these are actually like these hobgoblins, but they're also very attached to things or places. And when you live in their place kind of, or you get their thing, like gold or whatever, they haunt you. They even kill you for it. No, they're very powerful. No. Huh? It's like that. It's really so. These beings are out there. You don't want to mess with them. Some are not so powerful, like these regular ghosts, who can do anything but maybe choke you a bit in your dream or something. So, and then you chant Hare Krishna and he goes away. You know these ones? Yeah. They are very easy to get rid of. But there are more powerful ones. In German, say poltergeist. They are very difficult. They live also in haunted places. They can move things. They can throw knives at you and things like this. So they are quite powerful. Yeah, there are devotees who have experience with them. Once I heard a story that, I think it was in Italy. Italy, huh? I think it was in Italy. There were devotees, someone called the devotees in a temple. You know the story? You already? Yes. You know the story. Okay, good. No, those devotees, you know the devotees. Very good. You know the ghost. Yeah, and this was kind of devotee friends or some people had a problem, and devotees were called that they live in a flat or in a house where there was a ghost. And the devotee said, okay, let's go there and drive out the ghosts. And what are we doing normally? We do kirtan, we blow the conch shell, with some incense. This is when you have problems with the ghost. Huh? So then, like very easy exorcism, so to say. Light. More we cannot do. What else can we do? But actually there are professional exorcists, especially in the Christian church. They are specialized on that. There's a whole department of exorcism in the church. I heard that Johannes Pope II, he abolished it. But then this Ratzinger, I think he died, huh? Is he dead now? I think, He died, huh? Yeah, he was very conservative. He reinstituted it. And there's a big demand of it, actually. There's a big demand of it. You never read in the newspaper things like this, but there are there's crazy stuff out there, and these exorcists go there. But what will you do? I come to the story, but one exorcist story I heard once, that there was a boy, and a small boy, and every time he went to bed, his room started to burn. Even the bed. But the flames were not hurting him. It was very weird flames, but the whole room was always black and burnt. Yeah, imagine what you will do. Everyone was, and nobody could give an explanation. Nobody could help. So they go to the exorcists to go there and to drive out the spirits and fight with this kind of stuff. No? So the church, over the hundreds and years, they were going into this, and they're quite successful also with it. They can do that. But there are also Vedic exorcists. They're also in Radhanath Swami's book. He writes that there was one guy who was kind of haunted by a very powerful ghost, who can influence you, who can put weird thoughts in your mind, who can control you. And there was some Hindu or Vedic exorcist who could drive this out. So anyway, the devotees got caught, and they went there with their no problem exorcism, easy, make a kirtan. But then when they moved into this room, there are many details. Maybe you can tell then next time when you give the lecture, the story. You can tell the details. That they went inside, and suddenly the table started moving, and they hear a cannon shot they heard, and things started moving. I think even the father of the family was taken by the ghost by the neck and was slided against the wall back and forth, and it was a horror thing. The devotees were shocked and they chanted intensely, but in the end they managed to get him out. Yeah, things fell down, and there's an internet article about it with all the details if you want to know. So these are more powerful ghosts, and you don't want to have them in your house. It's very bad. So especially if you exercise, anyway, devotees don't do that, but sometimes people do that. just for fun, they won't call ghosts. Because they're bored and think, oh, let's try it if it works. And then they make in the nighttime, they come together and darken the room, just some candles. They sit around the table and then they speak. Oh, ghost, where are you? Come now, show yourself, speak to us. You shouldn't do that. Yeah. So, Shiva is the lord of all these ghosts. So what kind of person must that be? Every time he walks around, all these hobgoblins and ghosts and poltergeists and weird beings and evil spirits also, they follow him and they are actually protected by him. Why is it? Because he's so merciful. No one in the whole universe wants to take care of them. Who wants to take care of them? You? You want to take care of them? Nobody wants. The demigods also not. So someone has to. And this is Shiva. He says, okay, I will do it. He's so transcendental in that sense. So Daksha could not see that, so he thought, no, I don't want my most beautiful, wonderful, aristocratic daughter to be given to this very different person. And Brahma, he kind of forced me, so he was fried. He was really fried. And the whole story, of course, it will be told later when Sati, it said Sati was the first wife of Shiva. Because Shiva was so absorbed in meditation and renunciation and austerity, and Brahma wanted that he becomes more active in the universal activities. As always, Brahma has this desire. But he was not listening. So that's why Brahma thought, I want to have the best girl for him. That is Sati. And they were kind of living still in a hermitage setting, but still he was more engaged in the material activity. And when she died, she killed herself, as we know. Then it said Shiva took her and danced in his Tandava Nritya, the dance of destruction, because he was so aggrieved. And he became also so angry that later on he created Virabhadra out of his body, a huge, powerful demon who went and destroyed the whole yagya then. And he danced with Sati, but this is not in the Bhagavatam, but it's common in the Puranas. And it was so terrible, the dance was so terrible that Vishnu, with his Sudarshan chakra, he cut the dead body of Sati into pieces. And these pieces fell on the earth, and this is where they are the so-called Shakti Pitas. Sometimes they say they're 51 or 52, some even say 108. These are the holy places of the Shaktas. There are 18 major ones, and amongst these 18 there are 4 which are most important. One is in Jagannath Puri. There's one. And the Kamyaka in, I think it's Nepal or still in India. It's very famous also. So this were done the Shakti Pitas, and the Shaktas go there and worship her. So, okay, so this was a bit to the story, and the practical point from the purport. Prabhupada begins the purport saying that it's the duty of the parents hand over the daughter to a suitable person. This is not practiced anymore, especially not in the Western world. Parents don't do that. Of course, if there's a family which is kind of working, of course the daughter would look that her future husband will fit in the family. And of course there is some talking, do we fit together, this and that, of course. But sometimes it happens that she has a husband who is not liked by the family, or other way around also. No? Sometimes it happens that the husband cannot have a good relationship with the father or things like this. But it shouldn't be. Will always be troublesome. But family life in modern time is often like this. It's not, it's complicated, right? Because so many people involved, so many relationships and intense relationships. Of course, there's so much source for quarrel. I know it from my family. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's not a big family. It's not even a close family. It's amazing who has trouble with whom. Or who had trouble with whom. And sometimes they work it out again. We're happy again. Okay, we like each other again. But then it shifts and another one is not liked. I don't know with your families, but through my childhood, always there was someone who had trouble with this, that, or my mother with the parents of my father, and my anyway, I don't want to go into details, but always troublesome. Maybe it was like this for you too. It's very difficult, of course. Family life is difficult in that sense. But in the past, or like according to this Vedic ideal, there were some principles which had to be followed in order to make family life as good as possible. Because it said you cannot choose your family. You cannot choose who is your brother, sister. Friends you can choose. Okay, I don't like you anymore. Hare Krishna. See ya. Or not. Better not. Yeah. But you cannot get rid of your family, of your father, mother, this and that, as much as you like. It doesn't work. So they knew family is a necessity, except for people like Shiva. You can go away. Oh, brahmachari, I don't care anymore. But it will catch you. When I became brahmachari, I thought, I have nothing to do anymore with family. It's gone. It's over. Yeah. But it kind of caught me again. No, not so quickly. Yeah. So if you stay brahmachari for the rest of your life, yeah, maybe then. But in general, it comes back. Huh? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or like this. So there were principles which were helping to make this necessity of family life easier. And one of them is that the daughter was taken care of by the parents who were helping her to get a good husband. And as I said, nowadays it's not happening anymore. Nowadays it's real like this. A woman finds her husband. She searches and might find. Maybe not. But on the way until she has a husband, there were probably a couple of tries before, with lots of heartbreak and problems. It's not the ideal. Definitely not. But it's how it works nowadays. Nowadays, children, as quickly as they understand, oh, this is a different human than me. I'm a boy, this is a girl. Immediately, the love letters start flying. Immediately. And even, I don't want to say it's encouraged, but the society has there no boundaries. As soon as you understand you're a boy, you're a girl, you can, okay, whatever. Yeah, but this was protected in the Vedic time, and especially the girls were protected by the father. And you could not go to any girl and say, yeah, let's go to cinema, this and that. If the father hears that, he comes and beats you up. Yeah. It's his duty. I don't know. I don't have a daughter. I don't know. Maybe Lakshmivan can tell us how many he beat up already. But I would beat him up. And if I'm not strong enough for the guy, I get a couple of friends and beat him up. We have to protect the girls, right? So before it was more like that. Or at least the boy who wants to go to cinema, he has to come to your door and introduce himself, right? But even that, it was in Vedic time not possible. The girls were protected. I don't say that we can do it like this nowadays. I don't know. I don't have a daughter. I don't know if we will. So how to handle that then? I don't know. Very difficult. But it's just that we can get some understanding of it and see how much we can apply nowadays. Because girls are suffering way more through this whole love stuff than the boys. Way more. They take it more serious. There are studies nowadays done because of all this sexual liberty and revolution. they see many dark sides now also. And it's psychologically proven that girls, if they have many friends, boyfriends, many partners, many relationships, that they are way more traumatized and influenced by that than the boys actually. Yeah. So they actually, girls should be very careful. Because of their emotional side, they easily get attracted and easily get misused and easily get hurt. And very heavily hurt by relationships. And I think every one of us experienced traumas because of relationships. He had some partner and then especially it broke up. One wants to break up, the other not. This is the best. Huh? One wants to break up, the other not. Very terrible. Why? Why do you leave me? Because you're ugly. I don't want you anymore. Oh, I'm not ugly. What can I do? Right? It's terrible. And it shouldn't be. Of course, what to do? Huh? So, but one help is that the parents who should be wise and mature and responsible will help the girl. Because she doesn't know, boy also doesn't know, this whole love stuff, it bewilders so much. And if you go out, you're only bewildered, you make wrong choices. So the sober parents, they should help who is getting together with whom. And we have many examples also in our Indian congregation. They still have it. Many of them. The parents were searching for the proper spouse, right? Ananda probably knows it. So many. They don't have to worry about it. And they are satisfied also. And the girl trusts her father. No one loves the girl more than the father. So he will do anything and everything to get the best husband for her, his daughter, right? And the daughter has the trust. My father will do that. Of course, nowadays we don't have these relationships there, and the fathers are spaced out like anything. Yeah, what do you want to expect from some guy who comes home after work and sits on the couch with beer and watches soccer? He should choose a nice husband. What clue does he have? Right? So this is messed up, of course. But as devotees, as we are now devotees who will have children, who will have daughters also, we should know that we should help them. Right? And when we have sons, that we educate the sons as good as possible to become responsible husbands, who knows how to behave towards women, how to treat them. As it said, every boy should see any woman as his mother. This is brahmachari training. Respect towards elders and all that. Yeah, anyway, wish me good luck. My son is now 1 year old. So far, so good. Let's see what the years will bring. But this is how I envision it. Huh? Okay, boy. Let's see when he comes home with a mohawk. No, it's a seeker. It's a seeker. I can bend it back. It's like, what? How are you looking? What? I don't care, old guy. Who are you? I remember when I came home with one metal thing through my tongue. My father was not pleased. Not pleased. So let's see if I will get it back. I hope not. I hope for him not. Yeah, so yeah, this is very exciting. Okay, so for the end, I don't know, that's it probably. The Bhagavatam is a very practical book. Prabhupada gives many practical examples. At least he gives the blueprint for practical application, and then we have to see how we apply it and how much we can follow the ideal of the Bhagavatam. It's an ideal, it's a very high ideal on many points, in many parts, but and this is very individual. Everyone has to choose how much can and do I want to follow this ideal, right? But in that sense, the Bhagavatam is very important and relevant for us to give us an guidance for our life, right? And we have many examples, and there are many philosophical explanations. And of course, the more we follow the Bhagavatam, the more we follow Srila Prabhupada, the better it is for our life. And not just the spiritual life, also the material life. Things like this, who thinks like that, who talks like that, who understands that. It's very rare. So we are very fortunate that we have the help in our life of the Srimad Bhagavatam and of Srila Prabhupada. Very fortunate to have this knowledge. What would we be without Prabhupada? Just turn back the time where you started becoming a devotee, and take another, path of your destiny without Prabhupada. How would your life have developed without Prabhupada? Go back to a time without Prabhupada and then project until now. How would you look now? Where would you be? What would you do without Prabhupada? What would it be? How would your life be? Maybe you are materially very well off. Oh, I would not have stopped university. I would have now master's degree, maybe even PhD. Maybe I would now be that what my father wanted me to be, double PhD, a respectable person in society, someone my father looks up to and can tell all his friends, my son has two, he's Dr. Tim Leib. That was his, that would be nice. And you are very well off and nice house, nice car, married, all that. But without Krishna. Or, most probably not, maybe you'll sit somewhere in a stinky flat, maybe you have 70 square feet in the middle of a big city, like, I don't know, Leipzig or Dresden or Stuttgart. Second or third time already divorced. No double PhD, maybe you work on Aldi. Double beard, already gray. Quite frustrated. Couldn't get rid of smoking and drinking. I could only stop smoking when I moved into the temple. I tried so often to stop smoking. I could not manage it. I don't know, I could not. I moved in the temple, never smoked. I would still smoke. Hair, long a bit, but here already getting baldish. With longer hair it looks weird. Now it's kind of okay, but with longer hair, when it's only here and here, old, a bit frustrated, still angry. Couldn't get rid of anarthas. Who knows? So materially, maybe very good, materially, maybe very bad, but both quite empty. Yeah. So we can be very fortunate to have Srila Prabhupada and his books, so that we can make. Yeah, Prabhupada saw it. He saw it. Before they were morose and unhappy, and now look at them. He gave very often the example of his disciples being exemplary and happy and shining and bright, not just in goodness, but in spiritual mode. Very different. So all that is because of Srila Prabhupada. Good. Thank you so much. Any questions? Anything you want to add? Yeah.
Ich habe eventuell zwei Fragen, aber die erste, die ich stellen möchte, du hast das Beispiel gegeben, wie es vorbildlich gehandhabt wird mit Töchtern. Und wir kennen ja dieses bekannte Lila im Krishna-Buch, wo Krishna persönlich als Aniruddha sich einer Tochter genähert hat, ohne sich dem Vater angemessen vorher vorzustellen. So.
Yeah, in this story, he was not doing it. Actually, he woke up in her palace. She did it. Chitraleka. Yeah. No, okay, this is, of course, it's Leela. There are different plays work out there. Things work out there. But actually, she had a dream. What was her name? Usha. Usha had a dream. In her dream, she saw Aniruddha and she fell in love with him because she saw him in a dream. And the next morning, she woke up and her friend, Chitraleka, understood that she fell in love. Girls seem to understand each other and just very easily. And then she drew paintings because she wanted to find who is this person who I love now. I just saw him. I had a vision of him in my dream. And then Chitra painted all the demigods and sages. She was like when there's a criminal case and someone describes the person, and there's one person who can paint very nicely. And then, is it him? No. Okay, him? Huh? Like this. And until she came to Krishna. And when Usha saw Krishna, she kind of became bashful, but it was not the right one. But kind of. Then she painted Pradyumna. More, but then Aniruddha. Yeah, that's him. And then Chitra, she had mystical powers. She flew at night to Dwaraka and abducted the sleeping Aniruddha and flew back with him in the kingdom of, who was it? Banasura. Yeah, Banasura. Was it? Yeah. And he was sleeping, right? He was sleeping. And then he woke up suddenly in the palace of Usha. Yeah. And then they had their romantic escapaden da, yeah. So, but it was detected then by the guards, and then the father came, and then was a fight, and a huge battle came out of that. But still, this is Leela, and also it was not that he went there and did it. But, of course, we have also other situations where there is a Kshatriya kidnapping the princess. Yeah. But this is all amongst the Kshatriyas. If you can do that, yes, then it's okay. If you're so powerful, Kshatriya, that you can go and take any girl you like and can fight off any force against it, even the law, then you can do it. But this is not possible. But the Kshatriyas, they were fighting, and actually it said the girl who was abducted by this powerful Kshatriya, she fell in love with him also. She kind of liked it. And if not, with Bhishma and Amba, this is exception. She had a problem then, and then but she became so powerful that next life she killed Bhishma. She took revenge. So, but in general, this we follow kind of that what is in the Shastra for our situation, and this is very important. Shastra always gives instructions for certain situations and people. Yeah, and we cannot imitate like these Kshatriyas, and especially we cannot imitate the Leela. This is another point. We cannot imitate the Leela. So what happens in Leela, this is completely different. Yeah, Ramananda?
Would never ever give his daughter to anybody, because he is the most powerful. He would not trust anybody. So other Kshatriya had to come and take her, and that would impress the father.
Also, yeah.
But in Ambika and stuff, she had already chosen. This was the difficulty, because she chose already something.
Yeah, Shalva.
So what therefore?
Shalya. Yeah.
No, it was not Shalya.
No.
But somebody she chose.
Anyway, yeah, she had actually someone else. Yeah.
Yeah, and
that Bhishma did not know.
No.
Bhishma did not know that.
But from this, the whole tragic came.
Of course, Bhishma got it back.
Yeah.
Bhishma got it back. Because
not only Bhishma also she was also, it was tragic for her, because this man didn't want to have her anymore.
Yeah, he didn't want to have anymore.
So we can see that's not good if a girl by herself. Therefore, they are married very young before they start to advertise themselves.
Yeah.
But Kshatriyas sometimes don't do that because nobody is qualified, thinks the father.
But it's interesting, it says in Shastra also, if you offend and chaste woman, you bring destruction on yourself. And so often we have stories in Shastra where there was a girl offended and it brought huge destruction. Like in this story you say, also Draupadi, when she was disrespected, the whole Kurukshetra war, just actually because of this situation. One woman offended, million men had to die. So that means a woman is very powerful. But not because of out of herself, but if she's chaste, has good qualities, she's protected by higher powers. Yeah, very important, very powerful, very powerful. You think, it said in German is it das schwache Geschlecht, the weaker, the fair. How is it called? Yeah, but there's another thing. Like Anyway, but they are very powerful. Women are very powerful. And that's also why they should be protected. Huh?
It's said actually that a woman is protected by different demigods.
Yeah.
And in the moment when she has her first interaction, these demigods leave.
Yeah, it's
And
interesting.
then
Yeah,
she
Yeah.
is in the care of the husband,
yeah.
ideally.
Yeah.
So that's very, women are very special beings because they're protected. But if they, out of some kind of neglect, they're not protected anymore in this moment, then they're completely unprotected
Yeah.
when some guy comes and
Yeah. Actually, in the most famous old German tale, the Nibelungensage, yeah, Nibelungensage, there is one character. I haven't read it, but just know the story. She is called Brunhilde, a typical old German name, huh? Brunhilde, woman, and she was very beautiful, also very strong. It said she was very, very strong, and then somehow in the story she had her first interaction, and she lost her power. It actually said she lost her power. Yeah. Interesting, yeah. That goes along. But for men, the same, yeah. Okay, last point.
Unless there are any other questions, it's just a short announcement.
Oh, before announcements, any questions?
Any other last questions?
No, it's anyway time, so please announcement, yeah. Okay, thank you so much for your kind attention. I hope I wasn't saying anything offensive, especially with this touchy topic. It is always difficult to not offend anyone. So I tried my best to speak in a Brahminical way, maybe with a bit of humor at times. Srila Prabhupada ki. Announcement? Yeah. Announce to the internet.
Any Madhujis who'd like to help Meenakshi in the kitchen, the service goes for 40 minutes. So if there's two of you, it'll just be 20 minutes. But that's at 10 o'clock